Well, there are many images that stand out in our memories from January 6, 2021. But like these pictures of members of Congress helping Capitol Police barricade the doors to the House chamber, our next guest is one of the many members who stayed behind to help. Joining us now is Georgia Congressman Andrew Clyde, member of the House Oversight and Homeland Security Committee. Congressman, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here with us on this day. As I mentioned, you were one of the House members who stayed on the House floor that helped Capitol Police. Talk to us about that day and what Democrats and the media have gotten wrong in the year following.
Well, thank you very much, Lindsay. Sean, I appreciate you inviting me on. You know, that day will forever be etched in my memory. You know, I stayed on the House floor along with a number of other Republicans, probably a half dozen of us. I think Congressman Troy Nehls and I were the last two that left the floor. As you showed the pictures there, you saw me assisting with one of the benches to barricade the door in front of the Capitol, in front of the House chamber to prevent the rioters who had breached the Capitol to disrupt what was going on the House floor. You know, I believe that protesters have the right to peacefully protest against what they believe, you know, the government is doing wrong. But I do not believe in violence, and that should be no part of peaceful, of political protest. You know, but what is going on right now is a false narrative from the Democrat side. They are, along with the mainstream media, they are crafting a narrative that this was an insurrection. That's wrong. There was a Wall Street Journal article out yesterday that even talked about that. And they're driving the narrative that Republicans are unfit to govern, that Republicans are the enemy inside the House of Representatives. Those are Nancy Pelosi's exact words. And that we're unfit to govern. And that's just wrong. This January 6th Select Committee is a shiny object. It's a distraction so that the people of America don't see or don't focus on what's really hurting them, and that is hyperinflation, that is a border crisis, that is an energy crisis, and there's, you know, a surge in crime. I mean, those are all things that affect Americans' daily lives, and Nancy Pelosi is using the January 6th Select Committee to distract Americans from that reality. And it's just wrong. The truth, they're not going to get to the truth.
So, you know what's interesting? I talked about this just a moment ago with your colleague, Rodney Davis. If you look at the timeline, right, the Capitol was breached while Trump was still talking. And in order to walk, according from Google Maps, from where Trump was talking to the Capitol, by their estimation, is 33 minutes. It's a mile, 0.2. Okay, so it seems as though there were people intent on breaching the Capitol while tens of thousands of people were listening peacefully to President Trump at his rally, right? So here's what I don't get. I hear about Steve Bannon. I hear about Sean Hannity. I hear about all of these other people, Mark Meadows, in the Trump orbit, who were talking to him that day. What I want to know is, who were the people that were there before, that weren't there at the rally, that were there clearly to do something nefarious, right? Do you ever, and I know this is a stretch, but you've got these two Republicans, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, that are technically on the committee because Nancy Pelosi. Does anyone go to them and say, guys, okay, you say you care about the truth. Why aren't you asking about how the timeline? Who were the people that organized it? Who were the people that breached the Capitol while the tens of thousands of other people were back listening to Trump? Because it doesn't add up.
I agree it doesn't. And I honestly
don't. But does anyone ask them? Does anyone ask them, say, you guys, why, if you want to go on your crusade, great, but at least admit that the math suggests that there were some bad apples that perpetrated this and that created this. Why aren't we looking for them? Why aren't we investigating that?
Well, yeah, that's a great point, Sean. But the thing is this, Nancy Pelosi's not interested in the truth. She doesn't want the people to know the truth. I mean, think about it. Nancy Pelosi is the one, she is the top dog when it comes to who's in charge of the Capitol Police and the Sergeant at Arms. when there was a huge failure of law enforcement that day and people were allowed to breach the Capitol, then the responsibility of that goes all the way to the top, and that lays right at the feet of Nancy Pelosi. She doesn't want anybody to know that. She doesn't want that fact to be exposed.
Right.
Right.
Not at all.
It's clear because she is not allowing there to be transparency for that communication. Congressman Clyde, appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you. Thank you.